We're now being joined from our Lagos studios by Paul Alaje. Actually, Paul joins us virtually from Ikeja in Lagos. He's an economic expert and senior partner at SPM Professionals. Very warm welcome to Newsnight, Paul. Tell us, the euphoria over the unbanning of Twitter, is really been reverberating around the nook and crannies of Nigeria. But the economic losses and the new regime of 6% tax to such companies is going to be a win-win situation for Nigeria and Twitter?
Well, let me first say congratulations. The federal government did well to restore Twitter back to Nigeria. I think, first of all, it's good news for telecom giants such as the MTN, Glo, etc., that have lost not less than 1 billion, in revenue. Because each time you surf the internet and you scroll up, what you are burning is data, just the way you put on your light to power electricity, to power your refrigerator, your air conditioner, and so on and so forth. That is the same thing that happens. And those that want to advertise, whose business might have been affected, they are now back in business. Now, available research shows that Nigeria might have lost approximately $1.45 billion. If you pull the math together, we're talking of more than $500 billion naira. That's a lot of money that would have been within our economy, that would have served as revenue to telecom giants, to small businesses, and everyone within the country. So the cost is much. It's also important that the government of Nigeria says come and register, and government want to get from consumption part of the money people will pay, say consumption tax, value added tax will be going to federal government. In this case, about 6% of what government has said it was going to charge is some part of revenue for telecom, for the big tel company that are operating within Nigeria. And it's also nice that we're having Twitter saying it wants to register in Nigeria. It will also guarantee more jobs, even for Nigerians, as we have it today.
Yeah, Paul, I was actually going to ask you if there are any gains at all, including the point you made about 6% tax that would be accruable to the federal government. What other wins in terms of short, medium, and long term would you say there are? 7 months losing 540, how much? $46 billion. No, actually, naira.
Well, I really don't think the loss was the gain. If you ask me, I think we could have come up with register your organization, and government is introducing new taxes. The introduction of 2021 Finance Act then empower federal government to say for online businesses transaction, which is not limited to Twitter anyways. It also includes some transaction you may be buying on some e-commerce platforms outside Nigeria. Such taxes would also be applicable. Our government, we know how much is taxed, is another conversation entirely, because I'm not sure if those to collect taxes are tech savvy as we have it today, except if there are some plans we don't know that government has and may be bringing up in the coming period. So, but in the long run, the good news, even in the medium term, jobs are going to be created within Nigeria. Recall that when Twitter was banned, about 2 Nigerian companies have said they were creating apps that will replace Twitter. What we do not know is that to have migrated millions of Nigerians that were on Twitter, it is not even so convenient. And you could see the jubilation people that have used Twitter as a medium of venting their ideas, because it's tough to say you want to protest. And you have seen Bring Back Our Girls, the role Twitter play was major. End SARS, hashtag End SARS. Twitter, unlike any other app, played significant and traceable role that made Nigerians that are young, you may want to say those younger than the age of 40 or 35, played significant part in NSAS protest. It was the platform many people use, even though there were other platforms, was Twitter. So for young Nigerians, it's good news. They believe they have a way of getting their information across to government. And the good news about Twitter again is that some government agencies also have presence. And I can tell you, when people complain on Twitter, we've seen governors such as Governor Rufai in Kaduna that have taken major positive decisions because citizens reached out on Twitter. But beyond the naira and kobo, and here we are talking of over 500 billion naira, which is a lot. It's a lot, by the way. We have states that don't budget up to that in terms of their annual budget. That is what would have been within the circulation for Nigeria to spend. So we have possibility of increased job on one hand. We also have, on another hand, possibility of having investment within our shores in the medium term and, of course, in the long term for Nigeria.
Okay, very quickly, and I think it's going to be the final answer from you. Was the ban in the first place necessary? 2, can Nigeria be an Oliver Twist with the 2022 Budget Act backdate, the 6% tax for Twitter, particularly the kind of figures you reeled out, during the NSAS period, and for example, the governor of Kaduna State using Twitter as, a veritable tool of communication to his people?
Well, I think that at first, instead of banning Twitter, government should have just engaged directly, because politically it's called government law. Economically, we depleted approximately 500 billion naira from our economy. There are traceable, research is available. You can check Quartz Africa. It's an online platform that made this. And by the way, Nigeria was not the only country that was considered. About 8 to 10 countries within around the world, and Nigeria was the second largest when it comes to loss in terms of internet ban, or one ban or the other within the country. And Nigeria was considered for Twitter ban, and we lost that much just on Twitter. And that could tell us that data penetration is a lot in our country. So that on one hand, considering 2021 Finance Act, I don't know if government wants to go back in charging revenue, but because it's the law, even though there are concerns about that law, which includes 10 naira charge on per liter of carbonated drink, which we think that will create a net out effect. But the most painful and concern that many of us have, especially economists around Nigeria and financial individuals around Nigeria, remains potential loss of job. And you saw that in less than a week, we have seen Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, we have seen Lagos Chamber of Commerce, and indeed quite a number of other organized private sector have said, hey, government, if you implement this, be ready for 15,000 potential jobs that will be lost, or active job, I beg your pardon, that an active individual that may lose their job. And before you say that is big or small, you might want to ask, according to National Bureau of Statistics, fourth quarter, Nigeria already had 33% unemployment rate. And this is not on the entire population, but on a labor force that is less than 80 million people.
Not to add to the unquantifiable losses that we may never know. Thank you very much, Paul Alaje, SPM Professionals, for joining us on Newsnight.